Well, hello there. What's up? It's your host, LA. Welcome to Listening Everyday Podcast. I am back with another lesson. You already know. So, this lesson has a unique name. Stop, pause, think clearly. Yes, indeed. So, I'm going to share with you about a recent lesson that I learned from past experiences and recent experiences. I started to see a trend, and it was a trend that I did not like. I did not care to see any longer. And in order for me to change it, I had to first acknowledge it, recognize it, understand what I was doing wrong in order to do right or to make it right and do better. So this involves your interaction with others and your relationships that you value. I don't even know where to begin. So I'm just going to begin, okay? Whenever you are in interaction with other parties, people, significant others, family, loved ones, co-workers, those relationships that you value the most, right? Those relationships that you value. Sometimes you have disagreements, maybe arguments, whatever you want to title it, or misunderstandings, or maybe you have some situations that happen and you have emotional offsets, meaning something about the situation, something about the communication, something triggered an emotion, right? Whether it was you became angry or upset or sad and teary, crying, or heartaches, whatever the natural response or reaction that you have or feeling that you have, right? That emotion becomes strong. For one, because it's involving people that you love and you truly care about, right? And who really wants to be, on a different page than the person that you love and the person that you're with, whether, again, it's your significant other, family member, those co-workers that the ones that you actually work with and love, right? And your friends are, again, family member. So those relationships that you value, sometimes, again, you have moments where you emotionally offset. In those moments of emotional offset, your emotions create a false reality. What do I mean by that? What I have learned in the past or from the past, my past experiences, is that some situations that I experienced or was going through with interactions with significant others, family, friends, co-workers, those that I value and love, those disagreements, misunderstandings either had me, I'm a crier, so either had me emotionally crying, right? Or upset, because I can get upset, right? We're human, we're all human, we all have those different emotions. It had me in a place of my emotions were bigger than the situation or the circumstance that was created or the misunderstanding. My emotions became great and greater than what was discussed or what was not discussed. And so my emotions became a false reality. My emotions made everything larger, gigantic, magnified, everything. And my response and reaction was however I was feeling, right? In the moment, in the heat of the moment, at the time. But then I realized now this day, today, right? From all of these past experiences, I realized this is some advice and tips that I believe are to help someone else stop, pause, think clearly. This I had to come to reality with, that my emotions can create a false reality. And the true reality is that whatever the miscommunication, the disagreement, whatever it may be, it is not as big as it seems. It is something that if you yourself, like myself, had to do, if you can stop, pause, and just think about everything. Think about everything that is communicated. If it's not even with a communication or, a dialogue, maybe it was something that actually happened. Think about those things. Pause in that moment. Take a moment to think and, stop and pause and breathe, through those moments. And then think about how you can respond in a way that is healthy, in a way that is helpful, and in a way that you want really be the person that's hurting someone else or hurting your loved ones, being that person, a hurt person hurting others. What I had to learn is to stop, pause, and think clearly, because I found myself wanting to just go and vent to the person that, the next person that I felt that I can confide in. But what I realized is that because the emotional state that I am in the moment of whatever circumstance or situation that I may have with a significant other, a family member, or another friend or a coworker, I'm venting. But in that moment, not only am I venting, but I'm also creating this picture or another side or view, I would say, of the person that I love dearly. And it's not positive. It's not speaking life. It's not uplifting. It's not, a picture where I can show grace and mercy. What I did was I spoke out of emotions. I spoke out of feelings. And I spoke from that false reality, and I created a false identity of that person now. I have put it out in the universe. I've put it out to other people. And so what I found to be helpful is paper and pen or paper and pencil. Journaling is one healthy way of being able to express yourself without really hurting others and without sharing your business. You see what I mean? Sharing your business with other people that may judge quickly or may even have this picture that you created now stuck in their head. So when they meet, the person, your coworker or your boss or your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, your aunt, whoever, or your significant other, your husband, your boyfriend, your fiance, whoever, all they have is this false reality that you created. Now, people opinions shouldn't matter, right? But at the same time, though, it does matter to an extent. I tell you why I say that. I say that in the manner of what you say. The words that you speak can create life and speak life, or it can create death and speak negatively, right? So, do you really want to be that person that comes around? And I believe this is a lesson for everyone, because we all have done it at some point in our life. We have sat up here and went to vent to someone else, express ourselves in the heat of the moment, out of the heat of the moment, however you want to word it. And our dialogue was not the best, and the words that came out of our mouth was not the best. And maybe even our responses and reactions were not the best. And it was a outside of your normal character, outside of who you are, outside of your character type of response or reaction. Knowing that that's not really you, and knowing that the person that you may be upset with, or you may have had a disagreement with, or a miscommunication or misunderstanding with, knowing that that's not them. That moment, that situation is temporary. And those temporary, emotions and situations that we have, we tend to just act upon and act out of. And I can tell you, as you're listening to this, you probably are like, man, I remember a time where I wish I wouldn't have shared this. I wish I wouldn't have said this. I wish I wouldn't have even mentioned this, because at the end of the day, I either, made peace, or, came back to peace with the person that I expressed myself about, or to, express myself to about someone else. Like, now I'm at peace with them. Now I'm happy. It's like little kids, if you think about it. I'm going to use that. Little kids can sit and be friends with another kid, and then the next moment, if someone took their toy, they're going to say, I don't want to be friends with them anymore. I'm not friends with them anymore. But then when they start back sharing a toy, guess what happens? They're friends again. You know what I mean? Temporary situations, temporary emotions. So what am I getting at? This podcast, this lesson I'm sharing with you is just, before you respond, before you speak, before you go and vent, and before you share your business with anyone that honestly don't need to know your business, don't need to be in your business, that aren't there to help give you maybe that advice from a good, healthy place, right? A person that can just listen, because you have some that can just listen to you and not say a word. No judgment, no bias, nothing. They're just here to just be an ear. You have those. Now, I'm not saying you can't run to them or you can't talk to them, but what I'm saying is that we as people have to learn to have more self-control. We have to understand our emotions, understand what offsets our emotions, and understand that every response that we have isn't always necessarily the best response. Venting is not always the best outlet. Maybe you just need to journal. Write it down, express yourself on paper, burn it, tear it up, throw it away, whatever you have to do, okay? Or maybe even write to the person that you're having this disagreement or miscommunication with. Maybe write them and just be like, expressing yourself to them, which keeps it within control, like it's under control, because it's within the communication line of where the situation may have started, or the emotions have started. I think it creates healthier relationships. I think it creates healthier friendships. And this is just from experience. I've seen a transition, a transformation in my relationships and communications just with this mindset. Changing the mindset and saying, you know what, I don't have to always go and vent. I don't have to always go in and say these things. And in the heat of a moment, I need to stop and pause. I got to stop, pause, and breathe. And then I got to think about what I'm about to say, how I'm going to respond. Is it necessary for me to even speak or respond? Maybe it was a situation and circumstance that you just needed to learn from. Maybe apologize, and maybe just realize, hey, this is somewhere where I need to grow. This is an area that I need to, be a little more groomed in, shape myself in, to be a better person, to become a better person, to become a better version of myself. And to be better, you got to know better in order to do better. And in order to do better and to know better, you got to recognize, you have to take time to be self-aware and take time to really assess those situations and those moments that you have. But every emotion that we have should be, assessed, because you don't always have to agree with your emotions. Some emotions are just a natural response or reaction, but I believe you still can control it. You still can control it. You just have to stop, pause, again, give yourself that time, show grace, mercy, and allow yourself to accept grace and mercy as well. And again, I hope this is helpful in some kind of way. This is something I learned and noticed my past experiences. And I'm in a place in the season of my life where, it is time for, sometimes you just gotta stop talking. You know what I mean? Some seasons you just got like those silent seasons where it's like, you know what? I just gotta deal with this. Or I gotta just work this out. Or I have to just let it work itself out, right? Some things just gotta work itself out. Nobody needs to be hearing all of this and that, because everybody has something going on. And I'm not saying there are people out there that aren't there to help and listen, but just know who to turn to and who to run to, and just think about what you're saying and what kind of image you're creating about the people that you're venting about, or you're exposing, things that you're exposing. Think about the things that you're exposing, your business you're exposing, okay? Because once you put it out there, honestly, there's no return. But I believe that your words speak life and death. It can speak positive. You can change your situations and some of your responses and reactions just by the words that you say. Changing the way that you speak. Changing the way that you respond and react. It starts with you. It starts with you guys. It starts with you. It starts with me. It started with me, right? Okay. And so I'm in a place of my life where I'm like, this is a growing moment. I have to share it, because I believe that everything that you go through, you have to look at it as an opportunity to grow and to learn. And what you learn may be a testimony and another lesson to share with someone else, because we should all be helpers willing to help other people, and being a helping hand, right? And again, I hope I said something to help you, and I hope these tips help you. Stop, pause, think before you speak, think before you act, think before you respond. Give yourself that time. Give your situations that time, okay? Because at the end of the day, emotions can create false reality. And we got to cut those false realities down. We got to stick to reality and let, reality be reality and not have these false realities. How do you destroy those false realities? Taking a moment to stop, pause, and really think. Think about what's really going on. Think about what's really been said, and assess it. Take time to assess. And again, sometimes it's not always about going in and having an outlet to vent to and everything like that. Some things needs to be with you, whoever it involves, and God, okay? That's it. Leave it there. Leave it there. Like they say, leave it at the altar. Leave it at the altar. Let it work itself out and let it go. Forgive, apologize, do what you have to do, but grow. Learn and grow. And share your experiences with others to help others, okay? I love you guys. I hope I help you guys. Again, this is your host, LA, on podcast Lesson in Every Day. God bless you. Have a good evening, a good morning, wherever you are in the world. Have a blessed one. God bless.